Our guest today is an actor and comedian you've seen in films like Serpico, 3 Days of the Condor, Death Wish, and The Sentinel, and on television in programs like Dragnet, Columbo, and Kojak. He's also the 1958 Junior Olympic powerlifting champion, so nobody messes with him. But I suspect that to this audience, he might be best known for his role as Officer Nicholson on the much-loved TV series Car 54, Where Are You? Well, he has a memoir out called From Harlem Hoodlum to Hollywood Heavy. Mr. Hank Garrett, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, and it's my pleasure. You mentioned Car 54, and I'm the only one left from that series.
You know, I was just about to say the last surviving member of the cast. Well, I'll tell you, that show has stood the test of time because people remember it so fondly. And, you know, it's a show that wasn't on the air very long.
Yes. In fact, what happened was we were coming back for another season, and the network wanted 50% of the show. Huh. And so Matt Hiken, who created the show, said, no, I'm 50%. I'll just go to another network. There was no airtime left.
Wow.
And that was the swan song for Car 54.
Now, that show was shot in a studio, but also on location. And I've often wondered, you know, you're in uniform, if people would mistake you for actual police officers.
Oh, it was so true. We shot it in the Bronx at a place called the Gold Medal Studios. And it was a studio that was used to shoot silent film. In fact, when we got into the studio, I kind of rummaged around and found wardrobe from Perils of Pauline. Oh, my God. And, wow. Yes, and I got to tell you, Al Lewis was my partner. And, God, what a hoot that was. We were on break. We were on location. And we walk into a little Italian grocery. And this man behind the counter just kind of stared at us. And said, we want to get some sandwiches. And he said, oh, sure. Uh-huh. And he had this heavy Italian accent. It was adorable. And he was making the sandwiches, and he's just glaring at us. So now I said, how much? How much are the sandwiches? He says, oh, no. For you officers, there's going to be no charge. I love to give my food away. Evidently, other cops had stopped there, and they were greeted, and after a while, he stopped greeting them because they never paid. And I tried to tell him, I said, no, we're not real cops. We're going to pay. So he said, oh, sure. Thank you too much. And this was June or July, and Al said, let's take the food and get the hell out of here. So we took the sandwiches, and as we were walking out the door, he said, Officer, Merry Christmas.
Now, when you were growing up, you had a kind of hard scrabble life, and you might have wound up, well, not in show business, but in prison or worse.
Yes, absolutely. My mom and dad were immigrants from Russia, and they sold fruits and vegetables off a push cart. And a man who was the mayor of Harlem was my mom's customer. He loved the fresh fruits and vegetables. And she was crying to him about the fact that I was always in trouble. So he came to me. I was standing on the street smoking with my fellow hoodlums. And we were hoodlums. We fought. We got into trouble all the time.
Right.
And he said, your mom was asking me to take you out. And I thought, take me out? That means kill me.
Right.
I said, wonderful. Thank you for telling me my mom wants to knock me off. So he said, I'm taking you out tonight. No, I'm not going to kill you. I'm taking you to a place. Do you have a suit? I said, yeah, I've got a suit. He said, I want you to wear the suit, but before you put the suit on, would you do me a favor, take a bath? I went, oh, this is going to be hell. And he took me to to the Apollo Theater, and I looked up at the marquee and said, Sammy Davis Jr. There were hundreds of people milling about, and we went right through the crowd to Sammy Davis Jr.'s dressing room. He looked at me and said, hey, he said, the mayor told me that you're a pretty tough guy. So he said, I have to be. He said, well, you're going to wind up either in prison or die. I said, what? He said, that's the way you're going. And and this is the God's honest truth, I was 12 years old. I had a gun in my pocket. I had a .25 caliber pistol. And he kept talking to me and saying, the way you're going to go, and very soon. Got me a gig, got me a job with an all-black orchestra. And I said, what am I doing? I'm not a musician. He says, no, you're the band boy. You put out the charts for all the musicians in correct order. And after the gig, you repack all the stuff. I said, that's it. He said, that's it. He says, and we'll go from there. Well, the gig was over, and the band leader, his name was Lucky Millender. He came up to me and said, hey, my man, you did a good job. I said, well, thank you. And he said, here's your pay. And he gave me $50. And I went, wow. And then he said, get yourself some new kicks, shoes. I took the 50. I went to Florsheim. I bought a pair of Florsheim shoes for $15 and gave the 35 to my mom. That's more money than she had seen in a long, long time. And that's how it started for me. As the band boy, I realized that God is good, and he sent me this angel who saved me, saved my life, and gave me a life. I was Tony Bennett's opening act for 4 years. Opening night at the Sands. Everybody was there, the entire Rat Pack. And Sammy Davis Jr. was there with Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin. And Sam said to me after the show, man, you're a funny cat. I said, thank you. He said, where do I know you from? You look so familiar. And I said, Sammy, I'm the kid you said was going to go to prison or die. He said, that's you? And the two of us just stood there and cried.
Wow.
We hugged each other and just could not believe it. And I said, Sam, it would never have happened if it wasn't for you. God bless you.
What an incredible story. Sammy Davis Jr. is sort of like your guardian angel there, turning your life around.
That's what oh, God, thank you. I go to different prisons, and I talk to the kids. And there are kids in prison.
Yeah.
11 to 17. I was one of them. And that's what I talked to them. I said, look, man, where you're seated, man, I was there. I sat there. And they looked at me like, what? And thank God for my manager. She was the one who got all this stuff going, all of this stuff rolling. In fact, before I talk to the kids, they play a clip of Car 54, Where Are You? Of course, the kids don't know who I am. They know nothing about me. They watch the clip, they're laughing. And then I come out and talk to them and tell them, had it not been for an angel by the name of Sammy Davis Jr., I wouldn't be here talking to you. And each one of the kids wrote me a letter. I got 14 letters from these kids, and these kids said, Mr. Garrett, Sammy Davis Jr. was your angel. Mr. Garrett, you're our angel.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I lived with that. I couldn't get any higher on any drug than these kids writing these letters to me. Wow.
You know, if you had played the clip of you fighting with Robert Redford in 3 Days of the Condor, there would have been silence in that room. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because that's such a famous fight scene.
Yeah, I wound up winning the New York Film Critics Award. And not too long ago, they took me and my manager to Vegas. And I was given a special award for best fight scene in film ever.
And there was another fight scene, one that not many people got to watch, between you and Elvis Presley, of all people. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I was appearing at the Sands, and a friend of mine who was Elvis's opening act, another comic, told Elvis I was a martial artist. Well, I'm a grandmaster in martial arts. And I, not at that time. And
Right.
I get a call. A gentleman calls me and says, listen, would you do Elvis Presley the honor of sparring with him? And I said, hold on. Is this a joke? And the guy said, oh, no. We're here in Vegas, and he would be honored if you would spar with him. I said, you want me to spar with Elvis? And I said, okay, I'll give the kid a break. So, he rented a ballroom at the Sands. Now, I got my gi, my outfit. In comes Elvis with his crew, and he's wearing a gi that must have cost $25,000.
Right.
It was hand sewn, rhinestones, and I'm looking at Elvis. I got my $1.95 outfit on. I'm going, and Elvis. We started. He kept calling me Sensei, which is teacher. I said, Elvis, you don't call me Sensei because you and I are of an equal rank. So he said, oh, okay, Sensei. Okay, now we're sparring, and he was good. I have, oh God, I'm in the Hall of Fame in karate. So, but prior to our sparring, he said to me, oh, Sensei, please don't hit me in my face because I've got a show to do tonight. And I said, well, don't hit me in my face because I also have a show to do tonight. He said, Sensei, if I hit you in the face, it would be an improvement. And I said, I got to kill him. That's it. I'm going to kill him. So we wound up being good friends. And he, as I said, he was really very, very good.
You know, in the book, you've got stories about, oh my goodness, just about everybody. Kirk Douglas, Sophia Loren, and Audrey Hepburn, and everybody. Where can people go to get the book and read all about this?
It's being released, the rewrite is being released on the 15th, and that would be through Amazon. And the proceeds go to the disabled vets and the wounded warriors.
Well, sir, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today, and I'm going to go watch some Car 54 later this evening when I get home. And you know what? It still holds up.
Oh, it's amazing. I keep getting fan mail from all over the world, which is really blowing my mind. Sweden, Switzerland, Germany, Canada. I keep getting fan mail, I'm saying, after all these years.
Yeah.
And Condor and Car 54, and also Serpico.
Yes.
It's just amazing. I ran into people who remembered me when I was wrestling.
Yes, there was that. We didn't even get into that. Yeah, you were a wrestler for a time, too.
Yeah, I'm in the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
They're going to have to come up with new halls of fame for you because to fit in other achievements here. It seems you're in a bunch of them. Well, I want to thank you so much for spending this time with us, and we encourage everybody to check out the book, and obviously you're doing the Lord's work, so keep doing what you're doing.
You too. Stay well and God bless.